Hi, ladies. Welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Passion. And here on this channel, we're going to talk about everything womanhood. So I hope you stick around and enjoy and subscribe to my channel. And so today I got something special for you guys as I have gotten inspiration to talk about marriage, right? And this is mainly particularly for my single ladies. And you want to get married, you desire marriage, and you're like, I want to know if this guy is the one. So I'm going to share a little bit of my testimony and how I went from brokenness to wholeness and how God presented my husband to me. And I want you guys to also identify, how do I know if this guy is the one? How do I know if he is my God ordained sent husband? It's important for him to be ordained to you, because you can marry just anybody. And then if you just marry anybody, it's not going to last. It's going to end in divorce. But to know if this person is your God ordained husband, trust me, you'll know. You will have this sense of peace. There will not be no confusion on, is he the one? I don't know. No, he's going to check all those boxes and you're going to know for sure. Just to share a little bit of my story, how I went from brokenness to wholeness. I was a broken little girl in my early 20s. Like, I was dating the wrong kind of man. I had the right intentions, but the men that I was entertaining at that time didn't have sincere intentions for me, right? It was just sex for them. And I was out in the world still. I didn't really give my life 100% to God back then. So I was already out of alignment with the Lord. So I couldn't really hear God for myself at the time. So yeah, I was dating the wrong guys. I was very broken. Like, the relationships that I went through, which I'm not gonna go in details about those relationships. I have other videos if you guys want to see. Just go down my channel. You can hear those stories. But it just was the wrong men, right? And I always kept telling myself, like, I know I'm meant to be a wife. I'm meant for more. I know what I can provide and give to a man. But also, ladies, I want you to also remember, don't put all of your identity in a man. Like, you put all your efforts for a man. Don't be man crazy. First, learn how to love yourself. But that's going to be another video for another day. But I just want to throw that as a key point. Just learn how to love yourself, and also gain that relationship with the Lord. And once you learn the intimacy in God, He will teach you how to submit. He will teach you how to be more meek and soft. So when you go into your marriage, you won't have to struggle. I unfortunately had to struggle. I had to go on my journey, but I believe I went on my journey to do what I'm doing right now, to talk to you women, to encourage, to uplift, and help you in your journeys. So anyways, to get back to the story, I went through my season of brokenness, dating the wrong type of men that were never meant to be with me. They used me, and I just knew, like, this one guy I talked to, he used to say things like, "You're gonna be a great wife to a man one day." But I kept listening to him and taking that keynote. I'm gonna make a good wife for a man one day. He never said it was him. And so even then, I knew that we're wasting our time. What are we doing? Like, we are getting older, right? Why are we dating just to date? All that casual dating, that's for the birds. If you want to go out there and just continue to date, then hey, so be it. But for me, I always was dating with intentions on the end goal is marriage. Some people like, that's not for them, that's not their end goal. But for me, that's what it was. I'm not just gonna be dating and being in these temporary relationships and there's no fruit in it. There's no the fruit being marriage. The fruit being that we're growing and we're gonna have a family. As I wasn't with that. So I had to really do some self-reflecting and realize what I want. And so when God presented my husband to me, it was in a way where I was like kind of like done with dating. I think I was like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, and I was like done with dating, y'all. I was like, I'm not dating nobody. I'm not interested. And I remember I was working at this clothing store, and I was sitting outside. They had the display outside, and I was outside just fixing up the display, and my now husband was walking in because he had just moved in the state because he's from a different state. And so he was coming in, and then his brother was working with me, by the way. And he saw me. He was like, well, who is she? Like, he saw me, but he said when he saw me, he knew I was his wife. How did he know? God confirmed that to him. He was just like, something in his spirit told him that's your wife. And so he was just drawn to me. He didn't pursue me right away, but he had someone kind of like, put it together, orchestrate everything, and then we met at his dad's birthday party. And that could be another story for another day. But I'm just giving you guys like a short, you know, details of what happened. So then we end up meeting. And at the time, I was so broken, I couldn't hear God. Remember, I was not in alignment with the Lord, so I could not hear him for myself. I couldn't hear the Lord. He wasn't speaking to me. I couldn't hear. And he was always nice and sweet, but at the time, I just was not ready yet. My husband is older than me. We do have a 7-year age gap. And at the time, I just wasn't there. I was young, and I was just like, yeah, not right now. But as the years went down, as I went through my journey of healing, what ended up happening, I just kind of got tired of like the regular casual dating. And I finally had a conversation with my husband, and I was like, I want something serious. I don't want nothing temporary. And I was just ask probing questions just to see where his head was. And he was serious. He was like, I'm ready for marriage. Like, I'm ready for you, but I'm waiting on you to let me in. And I kept pushing him away. That's because I was in brokenness. And so when I finally said, you know what, let me just stop running, because this guy has been pursuing me for this long, and I do not want to lose him because of, me feeling so broken, and, me not wanting to be hurt and wasting my time. I said, let me just give it a try. And when I finally said yes, guys, I felt whole again. Like, it was like this sense of peace. I can't even explain it. That it felt right. It didn't feel forced. It felt like this was supposed to happen. And then I remember we began to meet each other's family. I went to his hometown. He brought me home, and he never brought a woman home before. And I met his grandma, his mom, and it just felt like this is supposed to been happen. They welcomed me in, and then for Christmas, went to my side of the family. Never brought nobody around my mom or my dad or my siblings, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Pastor, I like him." And then I ended up bringing him to church with me, and then the pastor came up to us, and he was looking at us. He was like, "I see favor on you two," and I was just like, "Okay." And he was like, he also prophesied that, I hear wedding bells for you too. Like, I see an engagement, I see children. And so as he started to prophesy this, I'm like getting emotional, because this is all I ever wanted. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, so when is it going to happen? Like, okay, y'all confirming this? But at the same time, I want you ladies to also know that even though you may get a prophecy, if you believe in prophecy, or you may hear people say y'all look good together, make sure you always go back to God and confirm, Lord, is this you speaking? Is this really my God ordained person? But it wasn't even just what people were saying around us and how it felt, where our families were accepting, like his family accepted me, my family accepted him. It was also the sense of peace that I received, and I just knew, like, I just had this feeling like this is what's supposed to be to happen a long time ago. But remember, I was running, I was in my broken season, but now I'm walking into my whole season and I'm healing. It was like right on time. And so you may be thinking, like, you may be dating right now. How do I know that this guy is the one? We all have our own things that we look for in a man. The things that we all have our own deal breakers. So you have to go write down the things that you like and what you are willing to accept in your potential marriage, and also what you're not willing to accept and negotiate. And also take that back to God. Like, Lord, this is what I want in a man. Okay. And I'm not talking about like the surface things, like, oh, he got to have money, he got to be 6 feet tall, or he got to have he got to look a certain way. We're not even talking about that. I'm talking about like the deeper things. Because looks fade away, okay? Money can come and go, but we need to look at the deeper things, like how does he treat his sisters? How does he treat his mother? Because the way he treat his mother is the example how he gonna treat me. If he had no respect for his mother, he's not gonna have respect for his wife. I also want to know, do we have a spiritual beliefs? Because we have to be equally yoked. If we're unequally yoked, you don't believe in God and I believe in God, we're going to always clash, because our beliefs and our spirits does not align. Light and darkness cannot walk together, because how can two walk unless they be in agreement? And because also when you become in a marriage, it's a covenant. Yes, ladies, y'all got to make sure y'all equally yoked spiritually, because you don't want to be in a marriage where y'all just not aligned spiritually. It's not going to work. I'm telling you, it's a covenant between you and God. A marriage is more spiritual than it is anything else. So yes, guys, ladies, I just want you guys to just, like I said, make a list on the things that you want and the things that you are not going to compromise. And ladies, never settle for potential. He may have the potential to be that husband that you think he can be, but if he ain't at least halfway there and crossing the boxes, he might not cross every box on your list, but he needs to cross at least majority of that. And if he's not there, don't settle for its potential. You're going to regret it. You're going to have a draining marriage and you're going to really regret it. I'm telling you. And marriage is very beautiful, y'all. And don't idolize marriage. I always tell people, do not idolize marriage. First, learn how to love yourself first. However, when you do finally get married, learn how to communicate. Because there's some people that I got married around the years I got married. I've been married for 4 years. Remember that. They got married around the same year I got married, and their marriage probably lasts about a year or two, and they're done, already divorced. Like, you don't want to marry the wrong person. Y'all listen, y'all gotta understand, like, when you marry your husband, this is gonna be your forever person, meaning like to death do us part. Once y'all really committed and you know that this is your person, listen, y'all gotta learn how to get along, because when y'all kids, like if y'all raising children together, when y'all become empty nesters, it's just you guys, and y'all try to get a long-lasting marriage. I'm talking about there's marriages that can go over 40 years and decades. You don't want to be miserable for decades. You don't want to settle for a cheater. You don't want to settle for a habitual liar. You don't want to settle for that. So you need to be with a person that you can really get along with. He checks all your boxes, or at least majority of them, okay? And you're gonna know, like I told you, you're gonna know that he's the one, because you're gonna have that sense of peace. Because one thing I tell anybody, God is not the author of confusion. If it brings confusion, you're unsettled, that is not of God. That's a clear indicator that this ain't the one, okay? You have to know that you know, and you're gonna know, trust me. Because when like I said, at first I wasn't entertaining my husband, but when I finally said, you know what, and around the time I met my husband, re-met him, because we met, but then I kind of like pushed him to the curb. I wasn't ready. But when I was back talking to him again as friends, I was actually going back to church, and I was getting to know God again. And it was around that season. And then when I finally gave him, like I said in the beginning, when I gave him that time of the day, I was just like, why did I ain't do this? We would have been had kids and been married already, okay? And the wedding is beautiful, the engagement is beautiful, but what really is the test is when you guys are finally in your marriage and doing life together. So you gotta know, you need to learn how to communicate. One thing me and my husband do not do, we do not go to bed angry. If I have to get in my car and leave, or if he had to go take a walk, we go to cool down. One thing we don't do is have disagreements in front of the children, because it causes confusion and trauma in your child. You don't want to argue, you don't want to fight. Don't settle for abusers. We don't do that. We don't settle for narcissists, because you be so and now there's some counterfeits. They'll check all your boxes, and then when y'all get married, he done switched up on you like, well, who did I marry? You know what I'm saying? We're not settling for that. But you're gonna know, because he's gonna stand on business when it comes to you. He's gonna treat you and protect your heart, and you're gonna see the fruit of God in him. Okay. Another thing I want to say, just communicating, making sure you have a healthy communication, not being angry. Y'all settle y'all angerness. Y'all angry. That's not even a word, but y'all settle whatever it is y'all going through. Make sure y'all settle that. Okay. Do not stay in that place of anger. Don't be prideful. Humble, meekness, ladies, meekness. And I'm going to teach you guys, I'm going to make more videos. I'm going to teach you how to be more soft to women when it comes to even talking to your husband. Don't be talking all down or harsh to him. You know, you got to be in a love and respect, okay? So I will definitely teach you guys that. If y'all want that, I'm going to give you more. But right now, we're just going to know what to give you indicators of this is the person I'm supposed to be with, okay? So yes, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what else. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but if I did, we could talk about it in the comments. Y'all engage with me. Comment down below. Don't be afraid to engage with me. If you have a question, ask a question and I will respond. I will respond in the comments. I'll make another video response. Whatever you need, I'm here for you ladies, okay? I'm here for all my single ladies, because listen, I was a single woman before, and my wives, I got content for y'all too, don't worry. But this is for women in general that is in relationships. You're gonna know he's the one. You're gonna come out that place from being a broken woman into a whole woman. You're gonna have peace in your marriage. My marriage is peaceful. I never said it was perfect, but it's peaceful, honey. And if there's no peace going on in my house, I know how to go on my knees and pray, because spiritual warfare gets real when you get married. And that's another video for another day. It gets very real. But one thing for sure, it's peace over here, honey. It's peace. It's peace. We ain't perfect, but honey, it's peace in my house. And that's how you should live, in peace. I love y'all, and I hope y'all love this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, y'all be blessed. See you later.